And welcome back to the Morning Drill. Joining us this morning, it is Mr. Crawford County Commissioner. We're going to add the Mr. before Crawford County Commissioner. Or we just say Crawford County Commissioner, Mr. Francis Weiderspahn. We'll do that.
Either one will work.
Either one, yeah. Your Majesty.
No, you're not going too far.
Hey, then he's going to tell us, don't call me Mr. He works for a living.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Well, we're happy to see him this morning because we really go nuts when Christopher Soft's here or John Amato. But how are you?
I'm doing great. How's everybody here?
Fantastic.
Excellent.
We're into July already. Can you believe that?
It's hard to believe. Next month will be fair time. And
do you guys have like a big countdown on the wall in the courthouse?
Well, we can tell by people coming in, getting concert tickets, and even signing up to work at the fair and those kind of things. Just increased traffic every day related to fairs.
Is this your favorite time of year?
Oh, definitely. I love summertime. I joke around that I kind of part chicken. The more daylight, the more active I am. So,
when you go over to the fair, people talk about the food and that experience. But the other thing that I think a lot of people are fascinated by, the youth and how involved they are with 4-H. They're in the barns taking care of the animals. They're staying there for the week. They're really dedicated, and you hear so much about how that translates into their work ethic outside of home life or the farm life, and how they do in school and afterwards. You just had a gentleman on who just opened a business who grew up on a farm, and again, solid work ethic. What's that say about our kids here in the area?
Well, it tells us we've got some great kids, and we've got some great adult leaders and that work with those kids and provide those programs so they can work with those projects that they're interested in, and as you said, have a good work ethic and develop that. And unfortunately, less and less people are living on the farms anymore. But with the projects, whether it's rabbits or chickens or cows or horses or any of the other numerous things that are available, it gets an activity they can be involved in, committed. There's responsibility involved with that. Even if raising vegetables or flowers, selling a project, this all develops character, responsibility, and they have leadership within those clubs. They have officers just like committees and so forth that they may serve on as adults. So it's a great training ground. We have some fantastic youth in this county, and we should be proud of them. And
how do you
certainly are.
Obviously, it's. I mean, I hate to say it because I'm not there. You'd have a better response to this, but it seems like it's tougher and tougher on the farmer today. How do you make sure that those types of legacies continue, that kids take over those family farms, or maybe even consider doing that as a career instead of at least incorporating it with a list of other things that they may want to do? Sure.
Well, having the 4-H program as an opportunity for them to participate, even if they don't live in the farm. If nothing else, it gives them the opportunity to learn what farmers do, and when they're adults, they go to the grocery store and they're picking up a gallon of milk or getting some cheese or buying some pork or beef or something. They have an idea what it took to get that to the grocery store available for them. It just doesn't appear in the warehouse or in the back of the grocery store that somebody's out there sweating 7 days a week and 365 days a year to provide that for us.
Yeah, at least it develops, it's an attitude more or less that you're developing, a lifestyle that is appreciative of those kinds of things.
Sure.
Speaking of sweating 24/7, how's the courthouse?
Kind of fits right in with it. No, I think they're going pretty well. Certainly the construction is going very well. The new judicial center is about 2 weeks ahead of schedule.
Oh, wow. See, for you guys see it every day. When I drive past, it's like, oh, wow. This thing's moving quickly.
Yeah. And where they're at right now with the framing and pouring concrete and that is something that you do see big changes. But once they start closing in those walls and laying brick and so forth, and they'll be working a year inside, and we'll think, well, what's taking so long? But this part does go up fast, and you can really see some changes.
Yeah, those kind of changes are the kinds of things people can kind of wrap their arms around or go up and touch or something like that. And they're always a little bit easier for folks to understand or take, when it's something they can see. That's probably the most important thing. It probably also is something very graphic that makes folks understand the need for something like that as well.
Yeah, very true, Mark.
Yeah.
Mark was just over covering a groundbreaking event not too long ago, just a couple weeks ago. Can't believe it's been a couple weeks, but talk about this. This was a nice partnership with the city in getting this done.
Yeah, it was a great cooperation across the dime between the city and the county. Currently, the mayor of Meadville, Leroy Stearns, at the time was councilman, and he approached it. The county was looking at building a 911 center, but putting it up on the easternmost part of the lot that the county owns there, the former town, this was the parking area for those that worked there. And there was some resistance because it's right up next to Crawford Park where the pavilion is and everything. And we were going to have to go through quite a process of getting the variances. And I'm confident that would have happened, but that would have been a lengthy process. And Leroy approached me. He said, the city's got some land on the eastern end that borders what the county owns that really is not much use for the park. And we'd feel a little better for the proposed tower. If it's in there, it would be surrounded by trees, so it wouldn't be as visible when you're driving up and down the road. And for us, it really didn't make a whole lot of difference whether we were, down that on the western end of the lot. Tower maybe had to be maybe another 20 feet taller, but not a huge difference. But for the city, it was great. We ended up swapping equal amounts of land with the city and the county, and that gave them some area that they can develop more at the park. They're looking at some grants and some money to put in a playground up there.
Very nice.
If the senior housing can come to fruition across the road at that former town property that we're working with Calamore on. Grandma and grandpa's there, and they've got grandkids in to visit. There'll be a park right across the street that they can take them to. There's walking trails there, so it was a win-win for both, and it was great to have that cooperation.
Now, you two look pretty sharp here. Are you his bodyguard or is he yours?
It's mutual.
It's mutual? Okay. Well, you look good. It was a nice day for that event, and again, congratulations on moving forward with that. It seems like now there's been all these things that have been talked about. They're finally happening, and I know things never happen quite as fast as we'd like them to, but for years we've been hearing about this and that. Now they're starting to happen. Does that feel good for you to know that, okay, here we go, this is it?
Yeah, it's certainly great to see these projects going. It certainly keeps us plenty busy, but it is great. Kevin Nicholson, the director of 911, it had been talked about, I think he said like 4 or 5 different times, different locations for the public safety and 911 and OES and so forth to go into, and they looked at renting from the city above the fire station and various possibilities. Number one, it needed to get out of the courthouse. That's a poor place to have your 911. It needs to be a standalone facility, and certainly up there in the hill, if there's a flooding or any other natural disasters, they're in a good location. This building's built to withstand heavy winds and so forth. As Kevin says, if it's the last building standing, it's got to be there, because in the case of emergency, that's
right
where everything's going to have to come out from. It gives a nice location and area for emergency operations center. If we have to shut down the courthouse for some reason, lack of heat or electric outage or some other instance, at least this nucleus of county government can go up there and still operate. There'd be room to commissioner's offices go up there, and we could put a few other people in there to, if on a temporary basis. It is a great addition to the county, and glad to see it moving along.
With it being a new building and all, it also gives the county the opportunity to have that kind of emergency coordination with all the latest and greatest technology as well. What makes me think about that is the center in Venango County has a room, and I'm sure there is in this one as well, where phone lines are dropped in, and there's internet and cable and what have you that actually media representatives can come and plug into and actually broadcast from out of there as well. So it really does highlight the need to be the building up on the hill. It really makes a lot of sense.
I think Mark's asking, do we have a room in there to put a studio? That's what I heard.
Work on.
All right,
I'll just live under the desk, okay?
But yeah, as far as technology, as you say, there's always updates and changes. We were about to the point where some of the equipment in the 911 was due for change because it's getting toward its end of life. So it certainly made a good transition. We'll use the old equipment where we're at. About a year from now, when we're moving, the new equipment can be put up there, and it'll pretty much be a seamless changeover when they stop at the existing location and start working out of the new one. So it's going to be great.
Other summer projects well underway. How are things going?
Everything's going very well. As I mentioned, fair's getting close. Fortunately for our maintenance department, we didn't have any huge projects up at the fairgrounds, but they did have some minor ones they've been working on. It even started right after the fair last year. When you go up there this year, the horse and pony barn where the mini horses are, you'll see a big difference there. They tore off the wings on both sides, totally rebuilt those, and very nice situation there. They've put all new lights in that building. The area down by gate 2 in the horse ring where the tents are set up, we brought in a bunch of fill last fall, raised it up about 1.5 feet. So if we do get some rain, which unfortunately we usually do fair week, they'll be up a little higher and drier, and we seeded that down this spring, so that'll be grassed in for that. And they've done some work in the horse and pony ring. They've added some cement in the dairy complex, down in the home show area. The addition on the fair office will be up and ready to go this year for the fair. So there's some exciting changes, not some big ones like has been in the past, but certainly some improvements as they always try to do at the fair.
What's the little things, right?
Well, certainly it all adds up.
Yeah, and I can't believe we're going to be there next month. I mean, it's
getting close.
It is getting close.
Once you get by the 4th, it goes quick.
Actually, to the 4th was fast, and now
it is, but it seems to even go quicker after.
Yeah. So, do you guys have a list of things you're trying to accomplish before you get into September and back into the fall months here?
Well, just mainly now working with these 2 building projects, and we have our summer CCAP conference, annual conference coming up in August, early August, just before the fair, and just the ongoing thing. Summer does slow down a little bit for some other activities, but
and the traffic signal working at the Meade Avenue Bridge.
I was by there the other day. It's working now fully. Instead of the flashing, it's a rotating red, yellow, and green, and so far everything seems to be going well there.
It's been busy through there.
Yeah,
we've been down that way a couple times, and wow, traffic.
Yeah, I stopped a couple business, and they said they've seen a marked improvement since that's been opened up, and
that's fantastic.
That's been good.
Fantastic. Well, again, a couple busy weeks ahead as you gear up for the fair, and these other projects will continue. Anything else you want to mention?
Well, I don't know if I should or not, but I don't know if you saw a discussion we had at our work session yesterday, but after the things have gone on with our public speaking comment at the beginning and the end of the meetings, we discussed yesterday that we're probably going to eliminate the one during the meeting at the end, because it was getting to be not what it was intended for or what we had hoped it would be, for bringing issues that aren't on the agenda that you could come and that might come to the commission before. It got more of a, personal agendas and attacking people personally in the courthouse and other elected officials and
casting spells.
Right, those that happened too. But we are keeping the one at the beginning on the agenda. We will adjourn the meeting, but we're going to remain there. If somebody wants to come up and talk to us, we're more than happy to do that. But as far as having it broadcast on Armstrong, we're going to adjourn the meeting. Cameras will be shut off, and if they still want to talk to us, they can. I'd say 80% of the time, they complained about not having time enough to speak, was what they were talking about, or they were, bashing people, and so
we've been saying
the
that
purpose wasn't there.
If you're given the time, use it. Don't go up and spend 90% of it complaining about not having the time. Get up and actually talk, and then get down.
And bring a solution with you.
And yeah, that's a good idea. If you're going to go up and do that, bring a solution with you. But Yeah.
Yeah, we hated to do it, but we gave it a try, and obviously it didn't work real well. So it'll still. We're giving time for public comment on making that change we did before, so it'll probably be in August before that.
And that was a topic during the election too. Was this public speaking time? Obviously, Mr. Soff and Mr. Amato being new to the board, they had their thoughts on it. Once they're sitting there and they're seeing what's being played out, it's easier to say, okay, now I know why you guys were doing this.
Yeah, and that's one of the comments Commissioner Amato said. He said, we had to see it for ourselves, and we thought it would work, but unfortunately it didn't. And now we know why it was changed before. So.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Weiderspahn, good to see you this morning. Love having you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
We'll talk to, I think, Mr. Amato next month, right?
I believe he's next. Yeah.
And then we'll see you at the fair.
Oh yeah, I'll be there definitely.
So excellent, Mark. What'd you learn today?
Just right now, this issue of the public speaking is still an ongoing issue, and learned that the latest is yet to come. So,
all right, Mr. Weiderspahn, what'd you learn?
Well, I've learned every time I come down here. There's terrific changes here to your studio. I'm amazed at.
We're still in business?
No. Just every time there's more improvements, and I certainly appreciate what you do here, and I certainly enjoyed listening about new business here in Titusville. I wish them the best, and that's exciting. He opened a business for himself, but it sounds like he has probably at least 4 other employees. So
yeah,
that's fantastic for the area.
Yep, had a lot of hard work, but he was a farmer, so
yep.
Grew up on a farm. That. There you go. All right, great to see you, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning for the Friday edition. Have a good Thursday, everybody.